Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 282. I am Brendan. All right, UFC Fight Night, Marvin Vettori versus Cannonier. We're going to break down each fight from the main card here. We're going to go over it round by round, talk about what happened. Great night of fights, by the way. Real quick, just to let you know, if you did not watch these fights, I highly recommend going back. It was a great night of fights for the most part. We'll talk about each one, so you can get a little review if you want a preview of it, or go back and watch it and then come back here. Real quick, if you like this kind of stuff, you like fight breakdowns, subscribe to the channel so the next video is coming out. I put out 2 or 3 videos every single week, so it'll let you know, and it helps me out too. Sweet, let's get started. Man, this fight, it was fun to watch, okay? The main event with Cannonier versus Marvin Vettori. Title implications, title shot implications, lots of good stuff here, and it's important to keep in mind that both of these guys had convincing losses to the current champion, Israel Adesanya. Neither one of them got to fight Pereira because the UFC is going to UFC. And neither one of them was able to beat Robert Whittaker, right? Both of them have convincing losses to Robert Whittaker. So we'll go over the rankings afterwards because I do want to get into this fight and give some credit where credit is due to Cannonier. So they start the fight off exchanging low kicks. Both guys have the jab working early. Vettori was landing the left hand that wobbled Cannonier early in this fight. Vettori landed the right hand and another left behind it. Cannonier landing the front kick. Every time Cannonier would go to the southpaw stance, Vettori would exploit a weakness, but Cannonier did have success from the orthodox stance. Huge right hand from Cannonier from that orthodox stance. Vettori landed a leg kick with the big left hand. It's weird that Cannonier looks like the smaller guy out there. I thought that was strange. I just took a mental note. I was like, man, he was the guy who fought at heavyweight, and he's smaller than Vettori. It's crazy. The jab from Vettori sets up the left hand again, and Cannonier staggers yet again. Great round, Vettori, 10-9. Cannonier had success. He just needs to stay patient with his attacks, and he'll find some success, is what I thought after that first round. 38-29 in favor of Vettori for significant strikes. Clearly his round, easy peasy. Let's move on. Second round here, Cannonier swinging wide of the hook, they just weren't hitting the mark. Vettori was landing the jab. Nice right hand from Cannonier that lands twice, and this was the beginning of the end for Vettori. Another right hand from Cannonier. Cannonier kicks a leg, and Vettori kind of just fell down, which was really weird, and the Vettori started taking a ton of damage in this round. Unbelievable amount of damage. Cannonier just staying in his face, laying out the damage, jabs, hooks, crosses, power shots, overhand rights. Everything was landing for Cannonier. 82 total significant strikes landed in this round to Vettori's 24, but that doesn't matter. He clearly lost this one. I scored it a 10-9 because at the end of the round, Vettori had his moments and he was coming back, and he actually landed some really good shots against Cannonier. But if you gave this a 10-8, I totally understand. There's no fight for me there. In the moment, I didn't give it a 10-8, but looking back at it, it totally deserves one. So I had it 19-19. Both guys moving really fast to start the third round. So there's kind of both of them just shook off that round and then moved on. Cannonier could have been really tired, and Vettori could have been still hurt, but it's not the way it turned out. Also, if you're looking for a specific fight breakdown, timestamps are down below. Big left hand from Vettori landing, and they're battling with the low kicks for a while, but then, again, the right hand from Cannonier starts to land. He starts countering with the left hand is Vettori, landing the right uppercut at one point. Great round. Cannonier landing the right hand again and again. Left hand from Vettori does find the mark, but it just doesn't have the same pop. Cannonier got the takedown. They get right back up. The clinch work is good from Cannonier as well. Vettori with the takedown, and then they get right back up after that. Cannonier just had more output, 49-31 for significant strikes. He just outworked him. Cannonier, he could tell he was just a step ahead at this point, and it looked like he was going to coast his way not coast his way, but he could find a finish, or he could get the decision win just by continuing what he was doing here. 29-28, I had it for Cannonier. Like I said, you could have it 29-27. Fourth round here, big right hands from Cannonier as Vettori. Wait, hold on. Vettori was able to land and keep up, but Cannonier is landing with more pop. Cannonier setting a record for significant strikes at middleweight in this round. I want to give this round to Vettori to keep it competitive, but I just didn't feel like it was his. If you look at the significant strikes, he was ahead here, 37-32. I just didn't feel, like I said, he kept up with the strikes. It just didn't feel like he had the same amount of damage or the same amount of pop on those strikes. I didn't give it to him either. 39-37, or 36 if you give him that 10-8. Last round here, leg kick from Vettori, countered by a right hand from Cannonier. Vettori still taking the punches and throwing back, staying right in his face. How a man can take that much damage and still stay in there, and not only stay in there, but throw back actively is unreal to me. Huge combos landing from Cannonier as Vettori still throwing back. Cannonier with the takedown, and that's kind of how the round ends, and that's the fight. 49-23 in this last round. Cannonier setting a record over 200 significant strikes, right? Yeah, 257 significant strikes. No, that's not the right. 241 significant strikes landed, which is a record that he smashed because the previous one for middleweight was 185 or 187. So incredible fight from him. Incredible chin and toughness from Vettori. Let's go look at the scorecards here because I did hear there were some discrepancies. All three judges gave that second round a 10-8, rightfully so. Like I said, when I was scoring it live, I didn't give it to him because, Vettori came back at the end of the round, but that should have been a 10-8. That's on me. I should have given that a 10-8. Saul D'Amato is the dissenting judge in round 4, giving it to Marvin Vettori. There's an argument to be had there because he outstruck him, and there were moments. So if you give some more credence to certain things that Vettori was doing, you can give him that round. There's nothing wrong with that. Saul D'Amato, like I said, last week he made kind of a stinker, or 2 weeks ago, but it's been a lot better from him, and that's a defensible scorecard, in my opinion. Okay, let's look at middleweight, shall we? Jared Cannonier and Marvin Vettori probably switch places in the 3rd and 4. Vettori might drop below Costa, but I hope not because he has a win over him. Dricus du Plessis is taking on Robert Whittaker, so that's going to be settled. So those two shouldn't be moving before this. What do you do with Jared Cannonier now? What do you do with Jared Cannonier? He's only lost to the two former champions. Well, Alex Pereira was champion for 5 minutes. So, he's only lost to Whittaker and Israel Adesanya. That's it. Right? So now what do you do with him? Are you just going to have everybody in the division clear out everyone else so you have a clear delineation and a ranking system, but no one who can take on the champion because they've all lost to him? He did call for a title shot. Based off what I saw here, I say he leveled up his game a little bit. He does look better. He did look like he was much better than Vettori. And Vettori, he's got losses to Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, and now Jared Cannonier. Recently, obviously, way back in the day, back in 2017, he had some losses to some different people, but Antonio Carlos Jr. Shoeface? Really? So, I don't think his title aspirations are totally shot yet. There was nothing about him. Back in the day, before he took on Adesanya again, there was a part of me that thought maybe he could go in there and rough him up and make it ugly, and he did for the most part. It just, he didn't come out on the top end of that. Whereas Jared Cannonier just didn't feel like he went, right? When he was fighting, the thing is, like, if Vettori versus Adesanya, I see that fight repeating almost identical to how it happened. I don't think Vettori has any new wrinkles into his game that he's going to challenge Adesanya with. I think he's one of the best middleweights. I think he's got an incredible chin. He can make some changes to the game plans, and he's able to push back some of the new up and comers. But Jared Cannonier, I think with the amount of output that he had in here, setting the record. And yes, you need a willing dance partner, someone who can take those blows, but part of it is just having the stamina to be able to do that and never. Here's the other part. This was not a slop fest. Jared Cannonier looked composed, and he looked like a man ready to do this for 5 rounds. After that second round, I was like, okay, if Cannonier's tired, Vettori can make a comeback here. We've seen it 1,000 times. We'll see it 1,000 more in MMA. It just didn't happen. Cannonier just kept the output going. I mean, look at his output every round, 125, and that was ridiculous, right? He attempted 125 significant strikes in round 2, right? 125. Go, you right now, you can even hit a heavy bag. You don't have to, don't punch anything. Just hold your hands up and throw 125 strikes and tell me how you feel after that. Then in the next round, he attempts 81, then 57. So there is a dip in the 4th round, but then back to 82 in the 5th round. The guy attempted a ton of work, and he just kept working. He didn't look tired. He looked great. So with all that being said, do I think he's added enough wrinkles in his game to beat Adesanya? I don't know, because Adesanya is kind of the best counter play guy. You know, he can see what you're doing, take what you're giving him, and then find the openings in it and take advantage of it. So do I think Cannonier is going to go up there and outwork Adesanya? Probably not. Do I think it'll be a better fight than the last one they had? Yes. If he puts it on the gas and realizes I have the cardio to go all 5, at 39 years old, man, like, that's impressive. Fuck, at 20 years old, that's impressive. The amount of output he just had is unbelievable. Fantastic job by Cannonier. Great win. Great fight. Fun stuff. But obviously, Whitaker has to get the title shot first. Or Jarikis. All right. Armen Tsarukyan taking on Joaquim Silva. Why do I keep putting 2 eyes? All right, so nobody wanted to fight Tsarukyan, which is why he's taking on Silva. Tsarukyan is ranked and Silva's not. The whole point of this was Tsarukyan needed a dance partner and no one wanted to jump in. Silva said yes. Tsarukyan landed the body kick, gets a takedown early in this first round. Tsarukyan keeping the pressure, even in the guard, and doing some decent ground and pound. Not even close round for me. I had it 10-8. If you look at the striking numbers here, it doesn't look that outlandish, 12-2. But if you look at the time, 4 minutes and 26 seconds, Joaquim Silva landed two strikes, and it was on his ass the entire time. There is back. He did absolutely nothing here. Second round here, Tsarukyan landing some hard kicks to the body and legs. Silva landing a left hand. Tsarukyan landing one of his own. Silva had landed some of those hooks, but he's just getting outstruck here. Then he lands a big left hand, and Tsarukyan keeps the output in his face. Silva landed another huge left hook, wobbling Tsarukyan, and Tsarukyan getting the takedown to save his life here in the second round. Big elbows on the ground for Tsarukyan to end the round. With the damage that he landed, I'd still give it to him. So even though he got wobbled, he didn't get knocked down in this round. He immediately went for the takedown afterwards to save himself. 33-16 for striking numbers in favor of Tsarukyan. I still gave him that round, 20-18. Third round here. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I woke up this morning feeling fine. Came up here to record, and then all of a sudden, like, my allergies started kicking in. It was nuts. Let's see here. Hard kicks from Tsarukyan landing and using hooks to work his way into the clinch. Gets a clinch in, gets a takedown. Silva worked his way back up with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left, but just wasn't able to do anything in this round. Tsarukyan caught a knee against in the clinch and got the takedown, landing a ton of ground and pound trying to get the finish. He couldn't get the finish, but he gets a TKO finish from the mount. What was it? 3:25 in the third. He did get it. It was another guy. Was it Torres who didn't get it? No, I don't know. But 35-5 for the striking numbers in the last round. Tsarukyan looked good when he did, and getting caught like that by an unranked guy doesn't look good for you. But how dominant he is when he's imposing his will on his opponent. It's just something that you, I don't know. It'll be interesting because I don't know how he stacks up with the 155ers. I think they're starting to age out and he's aging in really well. I think the timing is really good for him in the lightweight division. I think we do need another fresh name in here because, Beneil Dariush has been around for a while. Gaethje's had his time. Poirier's had his time. Oliveira's had his time. Makhachev's a new champion who hasn't defended his belt, essentially. Chandler's had his time. Fiziv's on the up and up. Mateusz Gamrot's on the up and up. Dos Anjos had his time. Jalen Turner's on his way up. So we got some new names coming in here, and Tsarukyan is definitely one of them. How he stacks up with these guys right now, like I said, if he fought today, do I think he would be able to walk through everyone in the top 5, including the champion? I don't think so. I think he provides some interesting challenges for Makhachev, but if his wrestling isn't up to snuff, Makhachev's just going to take over, and that's the end of that one. Whether or not you strike with him doesn't matter. We have, him versus Justin Gaethje, I think, is a fun fight. I think him versus Poirier is a banger. I think him versus Oliveira makes sense. But the problem is Oliveira has to get another title shot now because the MMA fans demand it. Goes and beats Dariush, so Dariush can never get a title shot, and then it goes up and gets it. The way things have worked out in that division drive me fucking nuts. All because they wanted to put on the super fight, which was a fun fight, but it didn't need to happen. All right, another Armen Petrosyan versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Duncan was out there throwing some wacky shit. He is fun to watch for the first, 3 minutes of this one. Duncan was moving smooth, flowing, moving his body, like covering crazy distance with some of his attacks. Petrosyan landing the low kicks. Both guys trade with uppercuts and hooks. Petrosyan catches the kick, throws him down, lands some good damage. Duncan was moving in with weird strikes, but Petrosyan's just countering him with the low kicks and the hook, right? Duncan would move in, do something weird, maybe land, maybe not, but Petrosyan would stick to the simple 1-2 low kick. Duncan moving towards him with his back facing him to end the round. He backed up. He's like backing that thing up on him. It's strange. 10-9 Petrosyan. Petrosyan landing the jab and the low kicks in the second round, just sticking to the basics. Petrosyan landing a hard right hand that makes Duncan drop to a knee for a second and then clinch up. Duncan attempted a takedown, fell to his back, one of the worst takedown attempts I've ever seen in my entire life. 20-18 for Petrosyan. Look at the striking numbers. First round, 37-27 in favor of Petrosyan, 36-20 in favor of Petrosyan. This last round was a little bit closer. Petrosyan still landing the low kick and now adding the hooks to the body as Duncan no longer dancing around. Duncan with a running, spinning elbow that does land in Petrosyan, but then Petrosyan immediately gets a takedown after that. Duncan didn't land enough in this last round to get it, in my opinion. 16-12 for striking numbers, but if you look at the control time here, 2 minutes and 17 seconds, that kind of offsets any extra damage that Duncan did because Duncan wasn't able to capitalize on it. Wasn't able to get it closer to being finished. Side note here, the translator who was translating for Petrosyan, he was speaking to Arman, the fighter, right as Paul Felder was talking. So as Paul Felder's talking to us, and to Petrosyan, but so we can hear Felder speaking in English, the translator is real-time translating to Petrosyan. So that way, right when Felder's done talking, Petrosyan can answer, and then the translator can speak right after that. The buffer time between speak English, microphone to translator, say that thing to the... Stop it. We don't need to do that. We need to have real-time translations like this. I understand why the translators do that because they want the fans to be able to hear, their native language, especially the fans in those places. I get that, but they can put subtitles on if they really need to, and then also, dude, it takes away from the time. It's not even about me. I don't give a shit about me. It's about the fighter. It always takes away time from the fighter being able to speak. because you have to wait. There's that buffer time between the interviewer, the translator twice, and then the fighter. So now you're essentially cutting that guy's time down by down to a third of what it should have been after an impressive victory. So real-time translations are better. If they need to go back afterwards and put some stuff in, they can do it in post or some other way. It's more important to let this fighter speak. So let's get back to that. Let's do more of that, please. All right, we are going long with this one, so let's move it. Pat Sabatini taking on Lucas Almeida. This one was not close even a little bit. Sabatini right in on the clinch and gets a trip. Top pressure is so freaking heavy from him. He's on top almost the entire round. 55 seconds left. Sabatini was landing some hard elbows and ground and pound. 10-8 in my opinion. 4 minutes and 50 seconds of control time. 23 strikes to 0 of Almeida's. Second round here, Sabatini right in on the takedown attempt, clinch just like the first round with some more effort. This time it took to get it down, but then he gets it down and gets the arm triangle and gets the finish. Great win for Sabatini. Fantastic performance. There was nothing to talk about as far as Almeida. He had nothing. He had no answers. Oh my God, that's not Manuel. Now I'm going to say it wrong. Manuel Torres versus Nikolas Motta. This fight was quick and fun. Torres with the low kick to start. Torres landing some hard kicks and attempting the jab. Motta landing the counter left hook hard multiple times. He landed this left hook as Torres was backing up and trying to exit after they engaged. One of the things, he would pull his chin up and then the left would come and counter him. It was beautiful from Motta. But then this left elbow from distance. I mean, he wound up on this thing like he was throwing a straight left and just came over and just pow with that elbow. Holy shit. Motta was right the fuck out. Like a nasty, nasty elbow. One of the hardest standing elbows I've ever seen. Because a lot of elbows, they happen in the clinch, so they're tight. And yeah, you can get a lot of force to the side of the head and they lose their balance. You can knock someone out like that or on the ground going like that. But seeing someone, or, even a step and elbow, or there's a lot of things. Calvin Kattar does that a lot. Trying to change up the pacing and the timing. So instead of throwing the jab, he'll actually throw the lead elbow to kind of throw off the opponent. But this one was just a full-on, like if you were going to throw your whatever your strong hand is, right? So if you're an orthodox fighter, if you're just going to throw your right hand, instead of winding up, he didn't even wind up with the hand, with the fist. He wound up with the elbow, knowing he was going to throw it. So he's just like, wah, over the top. God dang, that was cool. Man, that was cool. Another fun fight here. Nicolas Dalby versus Muslim Salikhov. Whew. Again, like I said, if you did not watch these prelims, watch this fight night, these are ones I would go back. This is worth watching. It really is. Lots of fun stuff here. Kicking range from both guys, keeping distance, right? So they're kicking each other to start. Salikhov was landing these hard low kicks. Dalby landing some hard low kicks of his own. Salikhov landing a spinning kick to the body. That was nice. Salikhov landing at almost will with the volume, right? So it seemed like he was going to just kind of walk away with this round. He's just keeping the volume out there, and then we're going to reset for round 2. But then a right high kick wobbles Salikhov, and Salikhov looks for the takedown. Dalby did enough damage in that round with that high kick to take it. So if you look at the striking numbers here, Salikhov was ahead 27-21, and up until that right high kick lands, I was going to give him that round. But Dalby narrowed the gap with the damage and then finished up with it, and I felt like he took it because he wasn't so far behind. He was 6 strikes behind. It's not like he was getting dominated this round. It was relatively close. It was just Salikhov was ahead. Not with that kick anymore. Nice spinning kick from Salikhov in the second round here. Dalby landing a hard low kick of his own. Dalby with the pressure in on the takedown attempts and the clinch. Salikhov caught the knee and got a momentary takedown of his own, but then Dalby gets up, trips him and gets right in the mount, taking the back. Dalby looking for the twister, but he couldn't get it. I thought when he was going to set that up, the commentary team picked up on it too. Locking that leg down and then reaching over and going, I'm like, oh shit, he's going for the twister. He's going for it. That was cool. They end up getting back up with 40 seconds left. Dalby landing some hard shots as the round ends. Great round for Dalby. So 17-10 for striking numbers. But if you look at the control time here, and, it's not a real submission attempt. He was putting himself in a position to do that. But 3 minutes and 21 seconds of control time for him. So clearly his round. Last round here, all Dalby. Dalby throwing the left high kick and working into the clinch again. Nice right hand landing from Dalby more than once, making Salikhov back up. Dalby landing the jab, walking through some shots, and then landing a right into the clinch. Dude, he would walk. He was walking him down at this point. He was like, "You can do nothing to me. You can't hurt me. I'm coming for you." Salikhov tries to separate the clinch, and Dalby shoves him all the way across the cage. Dalby standing in the pocket, throwing back, and even has the strength to get the takedown and mount with the fight coming to an end. So 48-20. For Dalby, 48 strikes for Dalby to 20 of Salikhov in that last round. So looking at the scorecards here, let's see here. Mike Bell gave that first round to Salikhov. Understandable. Derek Clearly and Saul D'Amato gave it to Dalby. So there's nothing wrong with any of these scorecards. Obviously, Mike Bell, I disagree with him a lot. Saul D'Amato, I feel like he's been okay. Derek Clearly, I almost disregard his scorecard and whether I agree with him or not. Just because I agree with with Derek Clearly doesn't mean he got it right. It just means that, he could have been, when he was falling asleep during the fight or not paying attention, it didn't affect his horrible scoring decision. So overall, go back and watch these. The prelims were good too, but for sure, if you did not watch this main event, go back and watch it. It's worth it, I promise. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like the video, I'd appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel so you know the next video is coming out. Like I said, I do 2 or 3 videos every single week. I actually do more. I did more this week. I had the Bellator event. I just covered that. I did not do the PFL this week. I'm sorry, guys. But if you're looking for the prelims, it's going to be in the next video, but subscribe so you know when it comes out. I appreciate y'all. Have an amazing week. Love you. Bye.